Today I am going to explain you about the experiment about the presence of starch in leaves. It belongs to the 10th class SSC first lesson. Explain experiment about the presence of starch in leaves. So in exams they will going to ask the question like this. Explain about the experiment presence of starch in leaves, how to prove it. Then we already know how to do an experiment. In an experiment, the major steps we have to keep like that side points as aim, materials required, procedure, precautions, and our conclusion. Here, aim nothing but what we are going to do. It like to prove about the presence of starch in leaves. Next, materials required. In experiment, what are the materials we will require? We have to write. Next, procedure. It is a step-by-step explanation how we can do the experiment. Next, precautions. Some steps we taking in this is to avoid contamination or to avoid infection like this. Next, conclusion. Lastly, what we get, it is a conclusion. Now here I saying about explain about presence of starch in leaves. Now here what is a starch? Here what is a starch? Starch is the carbohydrate present in plants. Carbohydrate we know already. Carbohydrate nothing but it will give us the energy. So plant can form plant can form end products is starch. Now starch is a carbohydrate form and it consisting of carbon double bonded atoms. Now it functions as a energy storer in our body. Now here what we have to test means in each and every green plant whether it is starch present or not, how can we determine it? So it is a way of the explanation. Let us come, now we will do. Next, aim. To prove experiment about the presence of starch in leaves. To prove, we have to prove experiment whether starch is present in leaves or not. Second one, material required. For this experiment purpose, we have to require some of the materials like beaker, boiling water, leaf, methylated spirit, tripod stand, Bunsen burner, and iodine solution. So these are all the materials we required for this experiment. Now when we going to procedure, in this procedure what happened is, first of all what we have to do is, leaf is we have to select the one plant with a well exposed and well green and well thin leaf. Now which is exposed to the sunlight before one day of our experiment. We have to expose that leaf to the sunlight before one day of our experiment. Next what happen is, next we have to set up the experiment like this. We have to set up the experiment like this. First what we have take is, it is stand called, it is tripod stand. Three sides it is called tripod stand. This is asbestosis. This is Bunsen burner. It is used for flaming. We have to keep like this, and after that we have to take one long beaker. In this beaker we have to fill with water solution. Now here we have to take water either concentrated or diluted one. So we have to fill in this. Next we have to take one test tube. Into the test tube we have to pour methylated spirit. We have to pour methylated spirit solution into that up to some level. Into that we have to keep the leaf. What is the leaf we have used here? We have to keep in this. Now after like this experiment setup, what we have to do is fill the beaker with water, take test tube and pour methylated spirit into it and add leaf into it and keep in beaker and heat up to 5 minutes. After all this experiment setup, what we have to do is we have to on Bunsen burner, and next we have to heat the whole solution with the Bunsen burner. We have to the whole solution up to 5 minutes. Now it is a minimum or maximum time. I think 5 to 10 is the 5 is the minimum time, 10 is the maximum time. Now after that take the leaf. After that take this test tube from this beaker. Now we have to take the test tube from this beaker. Now we have to keep the leaf out of it with the handler, and after that what we have to do is we have to do iodine test. We have to do here iodine test. We have to do here iodide test. In this test what happen is, what's the leaf we have taken out, we just simply keep here. Now after that we have to take the iodine solution and pour into that. Pour on the leaf like so. Taking one dropper, we have to drip here. On this leaf we have to drip. So here what we observe is, after this what we observe is, now after this leaf before experiment color should be green color. Leaf after experiment color should be pale green color. In iodine test what we can observe means, pale color will be changed into bluish green. In this leaf before experiment we know that all the leaf, due to the presence of chloroplast, we can observe that leaf should be in green color. And after experiment what will happen, we have eaten the baker, so due to this it loses its chlorophyll, pale color due to the chlorophyll loss. When we heat the leaf with beaker, it will lose the chlorophyll, so due to this it will be in pale green. Next, when we did in iodine test, what we observe means, in this iodine test pale green color experiment N1 will be converted into bluish green color. So when a leaf converted into bluish green color, it indicates the presence of starch. Now here precautions. Some precautions we have to take to avoid contamination or infection. So what is the first precaution means? We have to take the leaf, it is not infected one and free from germs. And next one, leaf was in not dead condition. Next, before experiment, just few minutes we have to detach the leaf from the mother plant. Next, use mask while doing experiment. Next, handle with care while using chemicals. Now these are some of the precautions when we doing in experiment. What is that? First, leaf should be free from germs and infection, and also we have to look whether leaf in dead condition or wet condition. Next, before experiment within few minutes, we have to detach the plant from the mother leaf. Next one, use mask to avoid contamination. Next, also handle with care. Now in this we are using chemicals like methylated spirit, and also we're doing boiler, so that's why we have to handle them with care. These are some precautions. Next, conclusion. This is the result. Conclusion nothing but result. Yeah, result, how can we write? What we observe means, what we are observing in the experiment, we have to write it as result. Then what we observe result? We observe that presence of starch in the selected leaf is in blue black color when we did with iodide test. What's the conclusion we have to write? Now how can we observe? We observe the presence of starch in the selected leaf. When we did iodine test, it should be shows in blue black green color. So now conclusion. Now what we observe here, if the leaf forms the iodine, when we did iodine test with the following leaf, it has to forms a blue black color. Thank you for watching.